Hi guys, I welcome you to my YouTube channel. Today we will learn how to maintain books of accounts, or what the accountants will call how to prepare a general ledger for a small company using Microsoft Excel. And at the same time, we will learn how to extract the trial balance for FS preparation. Okay, so here I have built my ledger. I have my main and sub. So under bank account, I have two banks accounts. 1 and 2, my cash equivalents, my PPE, office and office equipment and furniture and fittings. I have my other assets, right? I have my borrowings, loans, and interest payable on those loans. Other liabilities, income tax liabilities, my equities, I have my share capital, share premium, retained earnings, and other reserves. Then I come to my income statement where I have my interest income, interest expense, other income, staff salaries, depreciation expenses, other expenses, and my tax expenses. Okay, so with this I'm going to create another tab to extract the trial balance as I post my daily transactions. All right, so to do that I'll just click on my first sub GL and highlight all my GLs. Okay, copy it, create another sheet, click on right click, and I'll use this to transpose the sub GLs. Expand it. Okay, so I remove all the colors. I don't want any color. Okay, can onboarding it. So I have my ledger description. Okay, then I have my debits balance, I have my credit balance, I have my ledger balance. All right, so I can bolding this, align to the left. I can increase the size. Okay, I can also increase the size of this. Highlight it, then give the color. Say I want this, and I can also border this, right? Then I remove my entire grid line. Okay, so I can freeze this, right click, freeze span, so the debit and credit and ledger balance remains, and I can get my total balance to be sure that my debit column is equal to my credit column sum. Okay, I bolding it, give it the underline the bottom, then replicate for this as well. Okay, then my ledger balance is simply the addition of this plus this. Okay, so I drag down. All right, so at each point in time you can know what the ledger balance in each sub GL. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to come to our general ledger, then enter the date. So we can use this form to extract trial balance for monthly or for the whole period. It can be in quarterly, semi-annually, or an annual trial balance. Okay, but we're going to do this. Today is 24th of June. 24th of June. So I can just create from this date to 1st of July 2020. Okay. Okay, let's say 2nd of July 2020. All right. So I've entered my date. So the next thing for me to do is to start extracting. I can name this trial balance. All right. So I want to extract all the transactions I'm going to post on this ledger balance, on this ledger account for debit and for credit. Okay, for debit and for credit, with the condition that they were posted before or on or before 30th of June. And on the debit side, it's positive, and on the credit side, it's negative transactions posted on this ledger account. All right. So for me to do that, I will come to my trial balance. Note that bank XYZ1 is on column B, XYZ2 is on column C, D, E, F, please note that these columns will be very important in extracting our trial balance. All right, so let's extract for the first bank for debit and credit. So I'll be using the sum ifs function equals to sum ifs. Okay, so the sum range is the ledger. So I'll select everything, comma, and if the transaction date, okay, if the transaction date, comma, it's less than equal to 30th of June 2020. That means that is any transaction posted on or before from 1st down to 30th of June cutoff, it should sum up everything for you. All right, so I'll say bring up transactions that are less than equal to 06, which is June 30/2020. Okay, comma, and this column, it's comma, it's greater than 0. That is, it's positive. Okay, it's positive. Close my quotation and I close my bracket. Press the enter key. So I can just do a quick test. But if I say 340, I'll come to my ledger balance and I'll see 340 here. If I should enter a negative number, let's say minus 340, it does not peak, which means that it sum up valuations that are greater than 0, that is, that are positive. That's what this sign means. Okay, so I'll delete this. I'll delete this. So I'll come to the debit balance and I'll do the same, equals to sum ifs, the range column, which is same this, comma, and the date, comma, it's greater than equal to, sorry, it's less than equal to 06/30/2020. Okay, that's our first criteria. And if the bank column now is now less than 0, that is negative. Okay, close my bracket. All right, so here we said that you should sum up all transactions that were posted on or before 30th of June 2020 and that are positive. And here we said sum up transactions posted on before 30th of June that are negative. So I'll just do a quick test by saying if I should have 350 here and I have minus 540. Okay, so you can see that it sums the debit 350 and it also sums all the credit 540, and I have my ledger balance as minus 90. So if I should post any transaction after 30th of June, let's say 1,000, it doesn't pick it. Okay, so here you can extract your monthly trial balance as you move along your transaction date. All right, so I'm gonna delete this. So for me to populate for other sub-GLs, I'll be making use of their columns. So for bank XYZ2 is column C, placement, column D, E, and the likes. Okay, so I'll just use that to replicate it here. So where I have B, I'm going to change it to C for the next sub-GL for the debit. Where I have B, I'm going to change it to C for the sub-GL for the credit. Okay, so I'll drag down. Okay, so I'll just do find, Control F, find what B, column B, and replace with C, column C, replace all. So it has made for replacement. Okay, I close, then C, so I'll do the same thing, Control find, C, column C, replace with D, column D. Okay, I say replace all. Okay, so I come here, so I'll say D, column D, E, column E, replace all. Okay, so I'll copy for the next GL. E column E, replace with F column F, replace O. Okay, then I do for the next. F column F, G column G, replace O. Copy. So this would be G column G to H column H. Sorry, H. Okay, it's quite a lot. So okay, let me do some in payables, some in equity, interest, income, and interest expense and other expenses. Then we can then test. Okay, so let's say we've taken enough from assets. Let's populate some on liabilities. So let's do the loans. So our loan is under, loan should be under which is borrowings, L. Okay, L. So come here, this is H, so say replace H, H column H to L column L. Okay, replace. Okay, you can also do for this L M, L column L to M column M, replace. Okay, we can do account payables. Let's say N, sorry, M column M to N column N. Okay, so we've taken some from liabilities. Let's take some from share capital. So this is on N. So share capital, it's on R. Yeah. So let's pick from R. Okay, so we have N, replace N column N to R column R. Okay, replace. For we can do let's say interest income. Okay, interest income. Interest income is on V, is on column V. So come here and replace this R to R to V, R to R to V. Okay, V. Then there's W for interest expense. V column V to W column W, replace all. Then let's pick on staff salaries. Very important. Staff salaries is on Y. Is on Y. So let's pick Y. Staff salaries. So W to W, Y to Y, replace all. And depreciation. Depreciation, that's Z. Y to Y to Z to Z, replace all. Then let's populate the other expenses and tax expenses as well. Okay, so highlight. So for other expenses is on AA. Okay, so I'll look for ZZ, replace to AA column AA. All right, replace. And the last one, which is tax expense, is on AB. All right, so look for AA, replace with AB column AB, replace all. Okay, so note that I have just picked some, populated for some selected sub-geos because of time, so we can practice or test our journal entries and see the extraction on our trial balance as it appears. Okay, so now let's post our transactions on a day-by-day basis. So first, this is a new business, and they have just received a grant of, or a contribution, an equity contribution of 5,000 naira or $5,000. Let's say dollars now. So the money came into bank SYZ1, so 5,000. Okay, and the corresponding entry to put it is on equity contribution, which is negative 5,000. So to balance your double entry, so you debited bank and you created your equity. So when we check our trial balance, we'll see these two transactions, the debit on bank and the credit on share capital, and our trial balance is balanced. Okay, 5,000 here, debit, 5,000 credit. So this money that was received was at initial time placed under fixed deposits, which is called placement. So on June 25th, 2020, the money was placed. Let's say 4,500 was invested for a short-term market instrument. Okay, you debited here to increase your asset, and the money left your bank minus 45. Okay, so check our trial balance. We see that trial balance has been updated to give us a ledger balance of 500, which means that we have cash of 500 remaining, and we've increased our assets by 4,500. So check our trial balance accuracy. Debit 9,500, credit 9,500. So as we post more transactions, let's say, so the balance 500 we use to procure office equipment. All right. So I come to my office equipment. I debited 500 office equipment, and my balance in my cash 500. Okay, so when I check my trial balance, I will see that my balance in bank is 0, and my cash is now sorry, my bank balance is 0. My placement is 45, and I've incurred an item of PP of 500. Note that this item of PP is prone to depreciation. Okay, so I'm going to depreciate the 500. Assuming from our depreciation we have 5 as depreciation expense. Sorry, 1.5 as depreciation expense for the month. Okay, so I'll come here. I say minus 1.5. Okay, minus 1.5, and I go and debit my depreciation expense. Sorry, this should be at the end of the month. It should be at the end of the month, so minus 1.5. So I'll come to my depreciation expense, and okay, and debit it 1.5 as depreciation expense for the month. So when I check my trial balance, I'll see that I have my accum dip. So the net of the cost and accum dip is 498.5. So the carrying amount of the item of PP is 498.5, and I have my depreciation expense of 1.5. Okay, my debits on trial balance equates my credit on the trial balance as well. So one final thing is to recognize income. So on this investment that I've made, I received at the end of the month, I received, let's say, 200 naira in sorry, on the 29th I received 200 naira as interest accrued. Okay, interest accrued, which is 200 interest accrued, 200 interest accrued, and I come to my interest income and recognize an income of 200. That's minus 200, minus 200. Okay, so I have my income of 200 received, and again at the end of the month, this amount will have to be liquidated, which is a 4,700. We have to drop into my bank account. Let's say the money is not going into bank too. Okay, so at the end of the month, minus 4,700, okay, which is the principal plus interest, will be liquidated and moved into bank to 4,700. All right, so I've done some postings during the month. And if I check on my trial balance, I will see that my bank one is 0. So my asset has increased based on the interest received to 4,700, which is now in bank two. My placement has been fully liquidated with a 0 ledger balance. I have my cost of equipment this, and I have my share capital of -5, interest income of this. So from the interest income and interest expense, I can, by the time I plot my financial statement, I can see that I've made a profit of $198.5 for the month. Okay, so you can watch my video on how to prepare a financial statement from the trial balance using the FS lines. Okay, so but this video is just to prepare us on how to build a general ledger and extract a trial balance at the end of it. So please click on the subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.